Okay, so I have the pan that I cooked the roast pork in, the stuffed pork, and it had like the drippings and stuff on the bottom of it. So I put it over the stove, and right now I'm heating it up a little bit, and I put 5 cloves of garlic. I didn't chop it, I just mashed them so that you can fish them out later on because you don't want to eat all that garlic.
So what are you making now?
This is going to be the sauce for the pork and the pasta.
Alright, and what's it going to be?
This is basically just a pork flavored cream sauce.
Alright.
So now that this is all kind of dissolved, you have to be careful there because it's hot. I'm going to add a little bit of flour, about a tablespoon. And what it's going to do is it's going to create a roux in the pan here. It's going to thicken. So basically what we need to do is just kind of do, this is not a real tablespoon, but it's about a tablespoon. Hey babe, can you open this wine for me? So what we're going to do then is mix in the flour. It's going to get thick. And you want to make sure you don't have any lumps. So obviously it changes and makes it a different color. And you want it to kind of make sure you keep scraping because you're getting all the stuff off the bottom. And I need a mitt or something to hold this pan in place. There we go. And this is exactly what you want to be doing. Don't worry if it sticks because when you pour the wine and then the chicken stock in, it's all going to come off. You're on about medium-low heat here. And got some wine that we're going to put in. Doesn't matter, I like Pinot because that's what I like to drink. So that's just what I put in. And you're going to make sure the flame is kind of high here. So we're on medium heat now. What we're going to do is basically just continue doing this. And it may not look great now, but it'll all come together.
So what would you recommend if you didn't make the pork and you're making this with something else? What would you do then? Would you just make it normally without the pork?
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing when you roast any kind of meat, you have drippings and whatever in the pan. And something like that pork, you want to have some sort of a juice or a sauce to go over it if you're going to serve it with pretty much anything, rice, pasta, whatever. So you don't want those drippings to go to waste. So you just kind of make use out of them. So now you have all the wine kind of absorbed here. And it doesn't look as dastardly as it looked before. I'm just going to bring that up to a boil. I'm going to wait for that to come to a boil here. And right now I'll measure out some chicken stock.
You're measuring.
I'm actually going to measure for a change. I'm going to put in about a cup chicken stock. I think that's about actually 3/4 of a cup. See, now that this is doing this, it's bubbling and kind of thickening, which is exactly what you want it to do. Because that flour, what it does is it binds with any kind of fat. So the fat that was in the pork, the drippings, binds it and it makes it a base for any kind of sausage you're going to use. So any kind of meat that you're roasting, you can take the meat juices and use it as a fat. And add flour and make a roux, which is going to act as a thickening agent for this particular sauce. Obviously, I don't have pork stock. Most people don't. You know, pork stock would be ideal, but I don't have pork stock, so I'm using chicken. And this is how this thickens. And this is going to cook down.
About how long would you say you need to let this cook?
This is going to cook until it starts to boil again. We're going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to add the rest. That would make it a cup altogether. I should have done the cup from the get-go.
So 1 full cup?
1 full cup this turned out being.
So about how long would you say it's going to take?
This will cook for about 3 or 4 minutes. That's all.
All right.
And while that's cooking, I'm going to cut the meat and show you what it looks like. The water's still working here, and it's not boiled yet. This is doing its thing. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to it right now. Again, this is going to be flavored pretty well from the pan drippings, but it's still going to need salt. It is to taste, but that's probably about 1/4 teaspoon, 1/3 teaspoon. Some fresh pepper. Do the same thing. This is dirty. Try to keep my area tidy. And this is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. I'm going to lower the heat now to medium-low and just let it thicken and do what it's doing.